Well, hey there, leaders at Alpine Church. This is the sermon preview video for this weekend of September 2nd. It is Labor Day weekend, so you may have some lighter numbers, but we're hoping that we're going to get a good crowd. And we're continuing this week in week 3 of our Supernatural series, and we're going to be talking this week about Satan and demons. So that should be a pretty interesting week. I think it's a question a lot of people, or a topic a lot of people have a lot of questions on. Before we get into that message really quickly, like last week, I want to give you a quick heads up because of the order of service will be a little bit unique this week as we continue to try to experiment with some video stuff and some video intro stuff in particular. So here's just a snapshot of the worship order, which you can see online. Again, normal opening song and then the welcome. Here's the announcements. You can look at that. Song 2 is a solid rock. And then after that, we're going to do communion between the second and third song right here. So be prepared for that. It's a little bit different. Typically, we do that at the end. But with how the service is going to flow, we thought this would be a better place to do it. So the service leader or CP, whoever it may be, will come up between those two songs. And I've instructed the worship leaders just to continue to play instrumentally, kind of leading into this third song, Thank You. And you'll come up and you'll introduce communion, and you know how to do that, and then invite people during the third song, which is Thank You, to come forward and to take communion together. And then what will happen is after the third song, you, the service leader or CP, will come up and pray out of that third song. Again, normally the teaching pastor does that, but for this week, just like last week, the CP will come up and do that, or service leader, whoever it is, will come and transition. And we're going to have an intro video again. If you were in church last week and you saw that, Brian made a brief little 7-minute intro video that prepared. It was kind of actually a pre-sermon announcement plus a video or plus an introduction to the sermon. This week it's going to be more of a pure video introduction to the sermon. I'm going to be doing it. I'll be filming that tomorrow, and it will be just a brief, about a 5 or 6 minute or so intro to the sermon to kind of set the sermon up. And again, you can download that from the Go site. So just be prepared for that. When you come out of Thank You, just say something to the effect of, after you pray, hey, we're going to continue in our series Supernatural this week. Before Pastor whoever comes up here to open up God's words, watch this video really quickly. So you don't have to say a whole lot, but just say before whoever's going to come up at your campus to speak, just say we're going to watch this video quickly. So you introduce the video, and then it will play, and then after that, the teaching pastor will come up, and we're closing with the Great I Am, and then you'll close at the end of the service like normal. So that's kind of a picture of what's going to be going on during the service. Again, just be prepared for that. It'll be a little bit different. Now, here's a quick recap of the sermon. I'm not going to give you a lot of detail here because we don't have a lot of the detail figured out, but here's the big picture. 3 questions, kind of like last week. Where did Satan and his demons come from? So we're going to be talking about the origin of Satan, and again, this is unique in our LDS context because the Mormons have a very different view than the Bible has about this. We're going to see that Satan was in fact an angel who, due to his pride, due to his desire to be a god himself, fell from heaven. And we're going to look at these 2 passages in Ezekiel and Isaiah, and you can read that narrative there. And so that'll kind of be the first explanation that Satan is a fallen angel, and he took a third of the other angels with him, and they became the demons. We'll explain that. And the question is, well, what do they do? And we'll go through, we're not sure exactly what these are going to be yet. We're going to go through several of the passages in Scripture that indicate what demons are actively doing, things like deceive and tempt and accuse, and we'll look at some key passages, probably this one from 1 Peter, to describe that. And then kind of the last point, where it's kind of the practical point, kind of the so what point, is should we be scared of them? This is kind of a natural question a lot of people have when you talk about the demonic world. Is it brings up a lot of fear, and should we be freaked out by this? We have these enemies who are trying to destroy us, and the answer we're going to look at is absolutely not. As you look at Scripture, that if you're a Christian, you've got Jesus on your side, and that Jesus is far more powerful than any demon. And so this isn't a cause for fear, but it's a reminder that we are in a real battle, and we don't want to be ignorant of that, but in the end, we have confidence because we know we're on the winning side. And so that should relate to the close. I think a great close would be to talk about something along the lines of how, this this topic. It can be scary. It can bring fear and anxiety as you think about this stuff. We have a real enemy who's trying to hurt us. But the good news is, if you're with Jesus, you've got nothing to worry about. And the pathway to peace is through a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so I think just inviting people, hey, if this topic is scary to you, then you need to know Jesus. And so invite them to do just that. And so again, the whole idea, what we're trying to do at the end of the sermon, is bring it around to Christ, like we do with the angels. That it's really interesting to learn about angels. It's really interesting to learn about demons and Satan, but ultimately the focus should always be Jesus Christ, and that's what we're going to do in this message. So that is a quick sermon preview. I think it's going to be a great weekend. Be prepared for, I imagine a lot of people are going to have prayer at the end of this, because a lot of people have fear in their life that relates to this, and so be prepared for that. And we think it'll be a great week, so be praying that God works. We'll see you then.